All right, so here we are on Tuesday this week,
Mm-hmm.
and we are discussing episode 206, which is Best Laid Schemes. And Jerry and I watched it together, as together as somebody in Oklahoma and Florida could watch it.
We were on the same time, and we were texting back and forth.
Yeah,
So
we streamed at the same time and texted, so.
yeah.
Which I can do again this week, because
Good.
I don't work. Devin graduates, and her graduation party's on Saturday, so I'm off Friday, Saturday.
Awesome. So you'll be in Kansas City Friday night?
I don't think we're going to go up until Saturday morning.
Okay.
So.
All right, so we'll plan on doing it Friday night.
Yep. Works for me, because that lets me watch it on the big screen rather than on my phone.
Yeah. That's okay. I do it on the phone and then watch it on the big screen on Saturday night. So.
Well, when I'm at work on Friday nights, I watch it on my phone or on the computer, depending on,
Yeah.
what's going on. But anyway, this episode was written by Matt Roberts.
Yep.
Which, he wrote The Gathering, The Reckoning,
Yeah.
and The Search in season 1.
Nah.
Yeah.
He looks like a pirate.
He does. I saw that mustache on him in that little thing, the thing afterwards. I'm like, I don't remember that pirate mustache.
Well, I think
He used to have the purple beard, too?
No, that's Ira.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Ira's the one with the purple goatee.
Okay.
I watched that little thing and I was like, he looks like a pirate. Is he a book? He's not a book fan, is he?
Yes, he is. He's the reason the whole series got made. Nearly 20 years ago, or probably less than that. He was working across the hall from Meryl Davis.
Okay.
Whatever they were on, he was on something, she was on something else, and he gave her the books to read. Said, you've got to read these. I've got to have somebody to talk about with.
Okay, so he is a book fan.
He gave the books to Meryl. He was a book fan before Meryl ever read them.
Okay.
So he actually is the reason the series got made, because he's the reason that Meryl got introduced to them.
Okay.
And Meryl and Terry are the reason that Ron got involved in, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
So yes, he's a big book fan.
Okay, good.
Because there are times when he is super, super faithful to the book when I would be okay with him not being.
Ah, okay.
That was my whole issue with The Search. All the other things that they wanted to change, that they changed and made adaptive choices in season 1, the one section I was hoping they would take and make huge changes, they stuck to the letter. It was like, ugh.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, but I was going to say maybe because being a book fan and a writer on top of that, I wonder how people like that look at the books. Do they say, well, I would have improved this, or I might have done this differently, and so now here's their opportunity, to maybe change it a little to how they would have wrote it if they had written it originally.
I don't know. I sometimes think what he's trying to do is trying to make it interesting for TV, trying to be faithful to the book, but bring enough new twists to it so that the non-readers would be interested. Also make it an exciting hour of TV.
Right. That's kind of what
how The Search was supposed to accomplish that.
That's kind of what
I don't know.
The exciting hour of TV. But we digress.
Anyway, yeah.
It's done. It's embedded forever in our psyche and in the fandom, and we can't get rid of it. We did get the great relationship between Claire and Murtaugh coming out of it, so
built on that, yeah.
Can't complain. Can't completely trash it.
And I'm glad. And this one, I think this episode kind of added to it too. So.
Oh
Claire and Murtaugh.
Yeah. So he was the writer, and Metin Hussein was the director. This is his 4th episode this season.
Yeah.
And I think he has one more.
Okay.
So he will have directed 5 episodes of the 13, which is a lot. So we started out with the title card. I'm so disappointed in the title cards this season.
Yeah.
That little vignette at the beginning? For the most part, none of them have been anywhere near what last season's were. That was one of the big things I loved when this thing started out, were those great little, beautiful little vignette title cards.
Yeah.
But just with that single picture kind of told you the essence of the episode. Not the story, but gave you this kind of heart and soul of the episode,
The chess one was good though this season with the chess,
Yeah.
the king.
Yeah, I did like the chest with the king on the side, the chess set with the king on the side. I did like that one.
But does it seem like some of these are more of like a glimpse behind the scene of another scene that we're going to watch? Because this was them writing
Easter egg.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, like, kind of like this is what was
2 episodes ago with the cotter pin coming out of the wheel.
Right.
Was something that wasn't, that particular image wasn't in the episode, but it was very important to what was, it informed us of that scene. When we got to that scene, we were like, oh, that's where that's from, and that's why that's broken down, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. I just figured, this one was just the robbers lighting their torches, right?
Yeah, which I was just kind of like, and we can talk about that whole scheme, because that whole scheme, I'm just kind of like,
that was weird.
What?
Anyway,
They had him kill somebody.
Did they kill that guy?
Well, he at least shot somebody.
He got unlucky enough to be the one person who gets hit by a damn musket ball in the 1700s.
Okay.
Because those things are, from everything I've read and hear, those are super, super unreliable.
I thought Jamie shoved that guy out of the seat. That's what I thought.
I don't know.
That's what I thought. I just took it that way, that he pushed him out of the way.
Yeah, so I don't know. But the big, huge thing in this one was, what do we think? Do we think more than just overnight had passed at the very opening? We have Jamie sitting. I'm watching it here out of my right eye.
Yeah.
We have Jamie sitting thinking, and, Murtaugh coming in talking about the fact that Randall's out of the Bastille. Do we think it's just been overnight, or do we think time has passed?
I figured it was overnight.
No, I thought time had passed. I thought a few days had passed.
They weren't clear. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, well, Claire's baby bump became a mountain.
Yeah, she's like 9 months now.
Overnight. It was like, holy crap! All of a sudden, her bump popped huge. And, she suddenly looked wide. Even with the wide skirts of the style, Claire has never looked like a big girl.
Right.
She looked like a chunky monkey.
Mm-hmm.
From under her boobs down, because she has no boobs, but under down, she just looked like she went like this.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It was just kind of like, and the fact that all of a sudden, people talk about Jamie's rubbing her feet after that whole "don't touch me."
Yeah. Right. That it was. Yeah. No. It's not just the next day.
So that. Right. As long as time has passed, I am okay with that not being a sudden turnabout for Jamie. Him having taken a couple of days to
think about it,
work through it.
Yeah.
And basically have to forgive her.
He did forgive her in the book though, right away. That night. I posted the book pages.
Right. Didn't he just kind of like stalk around for a little while, doing thinking and everything, and then he just worked it out?
Yeah.
And when he apologized to her.
Yeah, but when you think, but it's a different scene. Because in the book, he did do all of that thinking and pacing during that scene. In this one, he did not. It was simply he promised to her to wait, and then that veiled and reined in anger in that "do not touch me." The "do not touch me" was not in the book.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
You got to be kidding.
No. It's not. It's the same. It's when they separate. They had the promise or whatever, and she kind of does a break in the book, and then it's like midnight. And am I confusing a couple scenes because I posted 2 different things today? One was it was after midnight of that same night, and they got back together, and it has the line "do not touch me."
Yeah, doesn't he go down the hall and like sit in an alcove or something, and she finally comes to get him or so, I don't know. And I again
in our group.
I do remember vaguely now.
It wasn't exactly.
I've moved on to Voyager. I'm listening to Voyager, so Voyager's what's in my brain.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I do remember the fact that he didn't come to bed with her, and she actually got up and went.
Yeah, she goes and kind of entices him, like puts her arm around him and says, "I'm cold. Will you come warm me up?" And then he's like, "Oh, I do love you," or something like that.
But yeah, again, at least that was more of a resolution, or coming to grips with it, as opposed to just suddenly the next we see the "don't touch me," we see him talking to Murtaugh, and Murtaugh being pissed as hell.
Yeah.
And then the next time we see Jamie and Claire, he's sitting there rubbing her feet, and they have the conversation that was in the book, but it was in the carriage in the book.
Yes.
They were on their way somewhere.
Yeah, it was just very abrupt, and not even, not even putting something like, 2 weeks later or something on the bottom. Like
that's kind of, I'm not wild about the 1 week later or the next.
I know, but they did it when it was 1 week, so why not do it here?
It's like, it's this season, as much as I love this show, this season has been so uneven.
Maybe they did
episode to episode, as far as continuity and the feel of this as an overarching, story.
Mm-hmm.
Each one of these episodes to me feels like it is. I can tell that it's written by a different person and directed by, the first three felt a little more cohesive as far as because they had the same director. But I feel like everybody, and maybe I'm just being informed by what Scott and Sassenach have said, is that because they feel it too, is that it feels like everybody's gone off and written their episode, and that they were pressed enough for time that there wasn't a lot of going back and making sure the episode on either side felt like the same flow. Mm-hmm. That we had the same character arc throughout, the same character continuity throughout, as far as the way the characters act and behave and their motivations. That feels like that the character is true for that episode, but not necessarily, Jamie from this episode doesn't necessarily feel true to the Jamie from the episode before.
Huh.
Although Claire feels pretty much, to me, the show has made me hate Claire more than I did in the book. And I didn't think that was possible. Because I'm just kind of like, oh my god.
Yeah. See, and I guess I'm not seeing it that way. I just want them to get done with France so that I can sit and watch the whole mess straight through again,
mm-hmm.
and see how it tells the story. Because to me, it's chopped up. Because I hate this part.
Mm-hmm.
I hate this tedious stuff. And
you wanted to be able to binge the first 7 episodes.
Yeah, and then you can just watch it and say, okay, here it goes. But I'm not seeing. I guess I'm just not as cognizant of. Maybe I don't know.
Well, Jerry and I specifically, when we started watching this, I think we were like 15 minutes into it.
Yeah,
20 minutes into it, and I texted to her. I said, "This feels all over the place."
Yeah, it was so choppy.
Huh.
To me, it didn't feel, like I said, my favorite word to use is cohesive. It just felt like we went jump, 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 jump. It was like, what is going on here? It was too...
Yeah, it was like, okay, today Jamie is here with Murtaugh, and Murtaugh's pissed. Tomorrow Claire's doing this. Then the next day we're doing this. It felt like it just kind of jumped all over the place. It didn't feel like one big overarching story from the beginning to the end.
No,
that's what it felt. Very, very, very episodic to me.
Yeah, and then after watching it a second time, I thought maybe it would feel better, but it didn't. It still
worked a little bit better for me the second time that I watched it, because the first time I think I have to watch these episodes at least twice, because the first time, most of the time I'm sitting there going, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that the book is in my head. And that's, that's not their fault, that's my fault as a watcher and as a book reader. That's where I'm coming from.
You can't help but do that when you've read the book, so
I know.
That's the whole thing.
So that's why I have to watch at least twice, the first time to get over whatever the changes are and how they've chosen to portray it and show us, and then I can go and watch it again, I think, with a more open mind and a more, being able to just enjoy it for the episode.
Right.
The first episode, it's always with this critical eye going, what?
Yes. Actually, the first episode, I usually just kind of stare at Sam the whole time, and then I have to watch it again to get the storyline.
Fangirl.
He looked especially good this episode.
Yeah, he did.
He's so pretty.
He did.
Especially good.
As Lonnie calls him, a big old bag of pretty.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because she talks about how she didn't expect much from him at all, because he was just this big old bag of pretty from the first season. And then she's like, oh, no, he's actually really good.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing I have to say about this season and everything, whatever other things, little nitpicky things, Sam is really doing an excellent job this season.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Sam is really, from probably the last, about 4 episodes of last season?
Yeah.
4 or 5 episodes of last season over into this season, he has stepped his game up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
But he became more of the focus too, because the first part of last season, it was Claire's story. He was almost just a secondary player for most of that.
That was always my complaint last season.
Yeah.
Is that he had been relegated to, you know, a second banana player.
But he is in the book.
Even more so than in the book.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Because I felt he was given all the big, you know, push and motivation. And
friends in the book, so yeah.
I kept calling her Super Claire because she did everything. You know, they made her a superhero, basically.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm actually not all that upset about showing her as the very flawed.
Oh yeah. No, good for them.
Person she is this season, because she's, you know.
But she is a flawed character. She's not perfect.
So, but they really made her perfect last season. You know, that was my issue. She came off knowing everything, except for the fact she couldn't keep her mouth shut.
So
there you go.
Yeah.
You know, she talked too much.
She said, "Shut up, Claire."
She thought she was smarter than she was, is what the problem was. You know, she believed her own hype.
Yeah.
Oh, sure, because she went back from the future and she knew more than all these dumb Scots did.
Yeah, well, and that's been my problem with her attitude this season, is that I feel like she has been very condescending to Jamie and Murtaugh as far as, this is the plan, this is what's going to happen. I know best. I'm from the future. I know better than you. I'm smarter than you. That's
I
how
know what's
it's
going
come
to
off to
happen.
me.
Blah, 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 blah. This is how we're going to defeat. Yeah,
everything has been her plan, her plan, her plan, and that was one of my issues from changes from the book, as far as changing Jamie's character.
Yeah.
So, and the fact that we didn't get, you know, the refined, educated Jamie that we knew he was from last season. We got little things here and there, but the book, I felt like he came across so much more educated in the book.
Yeah.
So, which made it easier to understand why she fell in love with him. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Because I almost felt like in the show they made him so much more of just a soldier or, you know, Highland warrior, and didn't show us all of that extra stuff about him.
The refinement that he had.
Yeah, that he'd been educated in Paris at university, and that he spoke all these different languages, that, you know, he'd been a mercenary, so he'd been away, he knew something besides, you know, Lollybrock and Leoch. He'd been out in the world and had studied philosophy and all of this other stuff, so it made him more of an equal with her.
Yeah.
As opposed to just the big old bag of pretty.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yep.
So, but anyway, that was last season. They've definitely shown us a different Jamie this season, and I'm absolutely okay with the way they've brought us Jamie this season for the most part. It's Claire that has pissed me off because of the way they've written her attitude as far as, you know.
Yep.
But I did see an interview with Meryl when they specifically asked her, I think, about that scene where it seemed like Claire, that when he talked about having hired Fergus to steal the letters, and how Claire said, "Oh, well, that's a good idea," and that so many of us thought that she acted surprised that he had a good idea.
Yeah.
And whoever did this interview, it may have been 3F by Space.
It was. I posted it today.
Yeah. And her defending that, saying that wasn't our intent at all. It was more of the fact that they were at odds in loggerheads, and it was more of Claire. She said, you know, you had those arguments where you're trying to kind of get back, trying to rein stuff in and get back on a more even keel, and it's more like an olive branch type thing rather than being shocked that he actually had a good idea. Well, the live feed just died.
It still says live on mine.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, saying live.
No, in the Facebook group.
Huh.
I don't know what happened. So anyway, I mean, we haven't gone past the first scene here.
I liked reading that because I kind of felt like aligned with her, because there were things like she, as like a major book reader, wanted in there that didn't get in there, kind of like us.
Yeah.
You know, but she also realizes everybody has their own thing that they might like better than someone else. So.
No, that was a good point of hers. I really did like that point too. That she said that.
Yeah.
We even do, you know.
Yep. Exactly.
Example.
I think there are some things though that are so universal that everyone loves. Like after the, and I know this is off topic, but in the first season, like when she didn't go through the stones and came back and met him, and that line of I prayed for the strength to go on.
Uh-huh.
Everyone wanted that line. Come on.
Yeah,
Stuff like that where I go crazy, but
yeah,
other stuff I can see how people have different preferences.
Yeah, I'm glad they fought to keep the baby conversation in there, because otherwise that would have, that was such a beautiful moment out of this bizarre episode as far as I'm concerned. So I'm glad that
there were several sweet scenes between them this episode.
Yeah.
That I was surprised. That's why I was surprised when anybody said they didn't like it, because there was some nice, sweet, lovey scenes in this episode, and we've been waiting for that.
They're too short.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like they tried to cram all of the closeness
into this episode.
The ease, because what I saw was an ease between the two of them. Like a married couple who were comfortable with each other and in love and took the time to show affection to each other, and that's what I noticed. I mean, those are the little bits that stood out to me.
Yeah.
But anyway, we ended up with. Did we end up with when Jamie asked Magnus, whom I love? Did you see when Murtaugh walked out and gave him the off-the-cuff line, and whatever Magnus said, what did it translate to? Oh my God, it was hilarious.
I forgot already.
Oh, hang on, I just went past it here because I was just kind of like, oh my God, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Because Murtaugh was pissy and being himself.
Yeah, because Jamie canceled the battle, the duel.
Canceled the duel.
Right, and doesn't tell him why, again. Why we're doing this. Like, you're going to have to trust me.
I was kind of surprised when Claire and Murtaugh had the scene there of talking about, that she was from the future or whatever, that it didn't come up that he had seen her at the Stones, because I thought that was the whole thing.
That's only in the Exile. That's not in...
Right, but Diana had said they asked her if he knew that she was doing this, and she said, well, yeah, he saw it. So I thought that's why they were asking her, because they were going to have him say something like,
is that what
it kind of explains why I saw you there, So I was kind of surprised that wasn't referenced.
I didn't put all that together, yeah. Yeah, because he is the first one to find her in the woods after she runs into Jack, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was hoping that they would kind of rope that together, but it may still come up. You never know.
Yeah, they may pull it in later. God bless him.
I've missed it every time I watched that one too, Angie, because I know that he says something that's snarky back.
Well, yeah, and for some reason my app, because I've got the episode up and trying to play, and the app is lagging, and then it's skipping over that and trying to skip to the next scene.
Yeah.
So I keep getting Monsieur Fleury, which I hate the way they changed this scene.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
I hate the way they changed it.
Really, why?
Well, in the book, Foray was at Jamie and Claire's, and this was a warning to Jamie.
Yes, he came in to warn them.
For treason.
About treason. This is how they treat, this is what the punishment for traitors. Not for the Blackheart people. I mean, those people were hung or burned.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't get the hang, drawn, and quartered thing. That was reserved for what's considered the worst crime, which is treason against the crown.
Yep.
Oh, here it is. Yeah, he just said too damn bad. Good morning, Mr. Murtaugh, and whatever Murtaugh said to him, and then whatever he said in French, they translated it to too damn bad.
Like, it was good for some or something like that, or...
Yeah.
I forget what Murtaugh says, yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, I love these little things that they stick in that I really love. But yeah, I hated the way they changed the focus of the Foray scene. And the way this guy did it was super duper creepy.
Yeah.
It's like he was a character out of, one of our cheesy horror movies. He seemed like a Freddy Krueger type.
Oh, you know who he reminded me of? He reminded me, going back a long time ago from horror movies, John Carradine.
Oh,
David
yeah.
Carradine instead.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's exactly who he reminded me of. That
Yeah, I was wondering why he was
kind of thing, you know.
I was wondering why he was describing all this to a pregnant woman by herself. It's like, what is the point of this? I was.
Well, it's because they've changed this. They have made Raymond Claire's Galus. Because that scene of her running to Raymond to warn him is a complete direct callback to Claire running to warn Galus in season 1.
Right.
You have to get out. People are coming for you.
Yeah.
Did she not say almost that exact same thing to Galus?
Yeah.
And Galus saying, oh, no, he'll never let anything happen to me. And Raymond saying, oh, this has happened before, you know.
Right. It's like almost carbon copy.
Exactly. The whole time I'm watching, I'm like, oh, my God. Except that, you know, Raymond is smarter than Galus and said, well, okay, if you really say, I guess I should go.
Right.
But yeah, and like I said, the guy, he was so super creepy. He looked like a character from a horror movie.
Yeah.
He was monologuing. That's what he was doing. You know, he's a supervillain from, you know, some kind of a movie who's monologuing at your hero.
Yep.
Oh,
I didn't like it.
So in the book, when I read it, it was tense.
It was.
I mean, when I was reading it, I was tense when I was reading it and thinking, holy crap, they better be careful. Because Mother Hildegard sent him, in the book, Mother Hildegard sent him to warn them.
Right, after the music, after the code and the music, then all of a sudden that happens. So that's, I didn't like the way they changed that around.
I didn't like the way they changed the focus of this to be on Claire and Raymond. Although I'm sure it's going to pay off.
Somehow.
It's going to pay off in the next episode.
Somewhere 3 series from now.
Well, I think it'll be the next episode. Because I think Faith is going to include the Star Chamber scene.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it looked like it from the previous.
So...
maybe that's where they'll jump the shark.
I'm trying to figure out where they're going to jump, what they're going to do.
I wish she wouldn't say stuff like that.
I can't believe she did, because it's getting like press all over the place, and it just.
Yeah, I wish she wouldn't say stuff like that, because it does throw everybody into a tizzy. Well, I'm not in a tizzy.
Press everywhere. Everybody's talking about Outlander. Everybody's going to tune in to Outlander to find out what the hell Diana's talking about.
Yeah, what did the author say? The author said they did something so off.
We got to watch it and find out what it is.
Yeah, maybe.
So,
maybe. I don't know. I'm not worried, because they haven't messed the thing up too bad.
Well, and Meryl tweeted, "There's nothing to worry about with this episode." So.
Yeah. Well, they're going to defend their show, but they've done well.
There have been times when Diana has said some of the things that she's changed, or that she's expressed reservations about.
Yeah.
That we were kind of like, oh, thank God.
I know.
Yeah. That whole Jack asking Jamie to run away thing, I was kind of like,
she had to be kidding.
Did they not read the book?
I know.
Oh, my God.
She had to be kidding. There's no way they would have wrote that.
She said they dialed it back, so we'll have to see. But she says we'll still be able to tell what it is. So I can't even imagine how awful it would have been.
It's going to be Claire at L'Hôpital des Anges in her whole fever dream.
Maybe.
Whatever.
Yeah, maybe we get a weird dream there.
It has to be so out of character.
I think she's going to spend the entire convalescence at the hospital. Louise is going to be nowhere in the picture. She's not going to go out to the country because she doesn't need to, because Jamie doesn't need to go to, Portugal or Spain or wherever the hell he was supposed to meet Myrta.
They changed that old convoluted bullshit out, so I'm good.
So anyway,
is this the book with Hugh Monroe, though, at that place?
Yeah. At the end.
So maybe we're not going to have him again?
I don't think we'll get him.
No, they said
that was a weird, drawn out, what the hell thing.
Yeah.
No, somebody was speculating about this jump the shark thing, and they said he filmed. He was on set.
Yeah, and Leary was too, and she's not be in this part of the season.
Yeah.
Well, I think what they're gonna do is they will bring back. I would imagine, rather than introducing 30 new characters from Lallybroch, that we're gonna get Rupert and Angus and Dougal and all those people we've already known are going to be part of that group.
Right. Oh yeah, definitely.
Rather than Jamie having responsibility for 30 men that he's bringing from Lollyrock, which this is all spoilery. Sorry guys, if you haven't read the book.
That's We'll see.
But that's coming up. So anyway, let's get past that because I'm tired of Raymond and Claire. It's like, shut up, get out, go. And then we go to Jamie rubbing Claire's feet.
Right.
And we get the whole thing we talked about when you read the book about how she comes up and says, "You owe me a life," and everybody's like, "Well, wait a minute, he saved her life too." And I love them putting this in, saying, him coming back and saying, actually, we're pretty even.
Yeah, more than even.
I don't owe you a life because I've saved you as much as you've saved me, and I owe Frank nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
You chose me. I love the fact that they said you had a free choice and you chose me.
Right.
Yep.
So.
I think it's interesting that, and maybe it's expressed in this scene because the reason he did it is so that she'd have a place to go if it all goes to hell on Culloden, or when they get to Culloden. But the reality is this particular episode shows all their schemes just falling apart. Every goofy thing they try to do doesn't help them. It gets turned around.
If people look at it, it's foreshadowing for the future.
Right. I mean, they're just not.
Nothing they try and do to change history works.
Yeah. Big like that. Anything big like that. Yeah, you're not going to.
Yeah, and then we get this whole making Jamie drink the stuff to give them smallpox, which is like, as somebody said, the cult having another ship with smallpox and having to destroy it, that's not a red flag for him at all, is it? It's just a coincidence that it happened again.
Nobody else has it. Nobody else in the harbor has smallpox or illness.
Except the Comte.
Yeah.
The Comte ships, yeah.
So, but I mean, I loved them developing the Fergus relationship here, showing us Fergus. Well, they had to, so that the payoff for the duel next season or next episode.
Next episode, not next season.
Yeah, so that we'll care, and be more on Jamie's side.
Right.
So, and I love this little kid. This kid is absolutely adorable. Little kid.
Oh, he is so adorable.
Like 13, 14.
Yeah. He is adorable.
They must have put out a call saying, find the cutest kid with the biggest eyes.
Yeah.
Really?
French.
Yeah, because I didn't think of Fergus being cute in the book.
They didn't sound like. I was gonna say I don't think she really described him that way as.
Oh, he's an urchin. He's a street urchin.
Yeah, he's a street urchin.
No. It's like street urchin, buck. I think I remember. What is it? Buck-toothed too. He's supposed to have buck teeth.
Squirrel teeth.
Remember? Yeah.
Overly large because of his age. He's at that awkward age where the permanent teeth have come in and they're still big because the face hasn't grown into him yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't remember him being so cute, but this one I just adore him. I think he's adorable.
Hope they can find a cute counterpart for him.
Grown Fergus is very handsome because I'm reading Voyager right now, and that's
aristocratic.
Which that pays off way down the line.
That when she first sees him is he looked like a French aristocrat. Anyway, that's next month. That's next year, or 2 years from now, or whenever they get to the next book.
Yeah.
Because you're reading Voyager.
So we get the whole scene, Jamie getting sick and suddenly breaking out, and then we get the whole and I think Scott and Lonnie and Alistair are right. Why did we have to see Jamie and Fergus go to Le Havre, do all of that, and then come back when nothing actually happened? It all went okay. This was a 50-minute episode.
Yeah.
And there are a couple
and they wasted
scenes
5 minutes on that,
that are not necessary. That whole scene, except it's a good scene for Fergus. You get to see Fergus do some stuff.
And he bonded with Jamie. I mean, they were off doing their own little thing. So there's a bond between him and Jamie, even more.
Yeah, let's go rob the whorehouse.
Because well, he did. Well, because he did say, "I'll guard your right. I'll go with you."
That's
Well,
when they're going to pay off Charlie's debt.
Yeah, that was later.
That's not
But
here. That's later.
Him riding off with Jamie for on this little adventure to achieve this thing, it bonded him and Jamie. But
Yeah. Well, like I said, they're trying to set up a payoff here when they leave France.
Yeah. Right.
You know. So, and then we end up with, after the cute little scene in the courtyard with the kisses, you know, and her telling him to, you know, be careful, come back, blah, blah, blah. Then we get that scene between Claire and Murtaugh.
Right.
Where he's written down every year.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
That was weird, but maybe he's just trying to wrap his head around it.
That must be his process.
Person.
he must actually have to see those numbers to process that. Murtaugh's visual?
I guess.
He's a visual learner?
The weird thing for me is, like, you know, you meet someone from the future and you're not saying, well, what's it like? Tell me things.
I know.
Well, and that was the whole thing. Somebody said when she mentioned a world war, and he said nothing.
Yeah, like me, I was like, the first thing was like, I wanted him to go, World War? What? What are you talking about? What does that mean?
Yeah.
Except, it does tell us that Murtaugh is absolutely focused on the present.
Yeah.
You know, on the here and now. How does her being here, excuse me, guys.
Well, it was good
How does her being here affect us?
He asked her, specifically, what about us? And she says, I don't know anything about you or Jamie or me. I don't know our future. I just know what's going to happen if you guys lose.
She doesn't know specifics.
And I think the best telling part of that scene was when he told her, I wouldn't want to be in your shoes with that kind of knowledge. You know, he doesn't want to know. I mean, like you said, he's in the present. He didn't want to know. It's not going to affect him other than what's going to happen in his lifetime, basically.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. That's all that affects Murtaugh. It's the future. Like you say, it would be interesting. We all think that way, but maybe people back then, they didn't. They never imagined beyond their own lifetime. So.
Well, you didn't imagine 10 miles beyond your house.
Right, and you had nobody encouraged you to think of what was going to be, would the world be like 100 years from now. You just didn't.
How is what you're doing today going to affect your children's lives tomorrow?
Right. So for him, I could see where, because, and who knows? I mean, you might find out if she gave him the whole story on all the world wars.
Yeah, they just don't want to waste time on it.
Yeah. She could do
but then we get the great scenes between Jamie and the Comte and whiny Charlie.
Those were good.
Yeah.
Both of those scenes. I loved both of those scenes, actually.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a huge fan of Stanley Weber. I don't get the whole Stanley Weber love thing.
Yeah, some people are.
It doesn't do anything for me.
That blog Gary posted the other day, she was talking about how he's like taking the place of Jamie for her, that she likes him more than Jamie.
Oh, really?
Who posted that?
I think it was in Jerry's, the Beth That's Normal.
Oh.
Blog, you know, the things we love about whatever.
Yeah.
And it was like, this girl's gushing over him. I'm like, okay, I like I like how he's portraying the character, and it's a good, battle with Jamie, but replacing Jamie? I mean, hello.
No.
Yeah.
No.
The character is not.
There's something about him getting the better of Jamie and getting the better of those scenes.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Close.
Yeah,
no. He does nothing for me.
No, but they are definitely two alpha males posturing at each other.
Oh, sure.
Oh, they are, yeah.
And they're doing a great job with that.
I'm just waiting them to start lifting their leg and marking their territory. That's all. Like, hey, we're going to do this little dance around. I'm going to piss on you. You're going to piss on me. It's like, testosterone.
And it is good how they're carrying through the English and French while they're arguing, and they understand each other.
Refusing to speak each other's language.
Yeah. I like that.
Great.
Nice touch.
But I tell you, the close talking, I almost wanted to post a screen cap of Charlie and saying, well, Charlie's a close talker.
Yeah.
Remember from Seinfeld?
Yes.
He's a close talker. She's a low talker.
He's a toucher, too. Good Lord. I mean, we all want to touch Jamie, too, so we can understand.
But yeah, well, because was it That's Normal or 3F by Space who talked about it? And all the slash fic writers go crazy.
Yeah. I saw that in quite a few commentaries and some of the things that I read. Yeah, it's like, okay, flash time. Yes.
So yeah, that's where we find out that their whole scheme to get the cargo destroyed fails because they managed to hide the men. And then we come up with the whole, now we have to sell the wine.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we got to get back in wagons. We got to get back on horses, go back to Le Havre.
Yeah, get the wine out of
the wine. Bring it back in wagons.
Yeah. Well,
and I don't understand if they think that the Count was behind Claire and Mary being attacked and that he's part of the Les Disciples.
Yeah.
Why the hell do they think the Count would believe that it was Les Disciples who was robbing the Count?
Now that you say that, I want to see that scene. They actually tried to make it look like Les Disciples, or just
about how it's Les Disciples. Isn't it true that Les Disciples weren't they dressed like, you know?
I think that's why Murtaugh was dressing up to.
Yes, that's exactly why Murtaugh was dressing up.
That's a good day. That's a good point.
What the hell?
Yeah.
This is why I'm saying it doesn't feel like the writers of the individual episodes ever read the other writers' episodes.
Yeah.
They're not paying attention to the plot points, you know, and that's kind of crazy. You know, I'm all of a sudden it's just hitting me when you're saying that. I'm like, wait a minute, right? That's right.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
wouldn't have worked if he had actually been part of Les Disciples, do you think?
He'd recognize his
Can we talk about Suzette's impudence in front of her employers?
Oh, yeah. That was wrong. Again.
I'm like, what? It's adorable. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Suzette.
Yeah, I'm gonna go take his clothes off and jump his bones right now.
Close.
He is of a servant class in pre-revolutionary France, which that was one of the whole big, huge problems. Yes, hello.
You might as well have a cat.
Isn't that one of the reasons that we ended up with the French Revolution was the way they treated the lower class?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm sorry. Maybe it's just to go and show us that this is how different Jamie and Claire are and how different Jared treats his servants. What, Missy? What?
You're talking to somebody else.
I see you. Yes, I do. I see you. Silly girl.
Okay, we both have dogs in our faces now.
Yeah. Well, and Gizmo was trying to figure out if he thinks he could jump and not hit the floor to end up on my lap because he's over here looking like, hey.
Annie's watching you right now.
Oh, hello, baby girl.
Say hi. Say hi. Okay. Yes, Annie, I'm on the phone. Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's, you know, I love Suzette, but it's like, well,
yeah, they're treating her like an equal, not.
Yeah, it's
not a servant.
Whoa. Ding dong.
You can't pet one without the other, at least in my house.
No, well, and she's neurotic and needy, so.
My other one's sleeping at my feet.
So then we get our wonderful scene that everybody was looking forward to. Jamie and Claire in bed, and Jamie talking to the baby bump.
Yeah.
I like that. That was good.
No.
Is it something that they were saying that Diana suggested it? Is it something that she was going to put in her book and she didn't?
She said it wasn't in the book, but she said she wished she put it in or something like that, and she suggested it to probably Sam.
That they need to
she's a huge fangirl.
Mm-hmm.
And
I would be too if I had easy access like that. Are you kidding?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and then I'm sure Sam said something to Kat, and then the two of them went to Matt.
Yeah.
I did see someone say that it was kind of ridiculous that would have been the first time he felt the baby kick if she's like that ginormous and, you know, that big.
She's giving birth to a water buffalo now.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
like, I didn't care. It was still good.
It should, you know, yeah. Technically, if they had been a close couple up to before this, where they'd been intimate before this, you thought he would have felt. But then we haven't seen that. We haven't seen those intimacies, so.
Yeah.
We
I
can
missed
say
that
this is when it's one of those things where they've brought them so close together. They've been so separate up until the last couple of episodes, and now they're finally together. So it's making the end of this, where they have them emotionally, makes the end of the episode that much more devastating.
Right.
And moving on into the next episode, because they were so close in this episode.
Right.
So, and can we just agree that we could have lost the Real Housewives of Paris scene?
Yeah.
I didn't. I thought that was so dumb.
I'm like,
it was dumb.
why? What?
There was no reason to do that. If she had wanted to go to the hospital, who's gonna say don't go to? That's where she's been this whole freaking time. Why'd they have to set that up so she would have to go? Oh, I need to go be with my people at the hospital.
Yeah,
It was kind of dumb. It didn't add anything.
Yeah, I mean, if it had been other than emphasizing the point that
They're on
class difference.
this is the reason for the revolution. This is, attitudes that are helping build up to and lead to the revolution in 50 years. And these people and their descendants are all going to be in 50 years. So I don't know. Yeah.
I wasn't sure, and I didn't go back to look, but wasn't one of the women there the comp's wife?
It looked like it.
Yeah, so maybe she needed to make a showing to kind of make it look like, as far as she knows, it's all the same, and while all this other stuff's going off on the road with the comp, because he's off with Jamie now, so maybe she just needed to show up with the girls and have a drink and a gossip and just look like life is normal,
I didn't realize she was there. I didn't know.
You see, I didn't pay that close of attention to the comp's wife in that dinner party. I actually probably should go back.
I was kind of surprised at the comp's wife. She's kind of austere looking,
Yeah, but I thought it was her that said, she's the one who said we should have our husbands speak to the king or something. So that's why I thought, is that the comp's wife? And I didn't go back, so I'm bad. I don't recognize faces real well, especially all those women start looking alike.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to. They're supposed to be nameless, faceless.
Yeah.
And just just be representative of, Paris aristocracy at that time. But yeah, my plan is once we get through next episode, because I think the episode after that will be heading back to Scotland, my plan is basically, I think, to binge episodes 1 through 7.
Yeah.
And watch all the Paris stuff all together.
One after the other.
Just so I can get a better sense of, because I think these things are kind of feeling episodic because their own little contained story that doesn't fit with the one before, the one after. Maybe it will be better once we get the whole thing together.
Yeah, once you know where it ends up. Once you've got an ending and you can watch it with the sight of seeing, with the vision of seeing how it's actually going to end. And see what they threw in. You might find stuff like, hey, there's that. That we didn't know about until we got to the end. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, it may help us also see. Oh, this is why they did that, so we could get to this outcome.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. They simplified, and I mean they sent Murtaugh off screen because he's got to go sell the wine, because that's the next scene, is that whole hijacking in the woods.
Right.
That next scene. And we end up with the Comte and Murtaugh standoff, pistols pointing, and Jamie coming in and either knocking the driver of the Comte's wagon down, or, dumping him off when he gets shot.
Yeah.
And then pushing the Comte out of the way and jumping on Murtaugh.
Right. Coming to his rescue, basically.
Yeah, but basically, I don't notice the accents that the Scots are speaking with Scots accented French, and that Claire speaks with English accented French, because I don't have that ear. Alistair does. Alistair from Scott and Sassenach does.
Yeah.
Okay.
And because I kind of agree, how is it that he didn't recognize Scots accented French? How did the Comte not recognize Scots accented French?
I think we're just not supposed to.
We're supposed to wave our hands and
pretend his French is just fine.
Yeah.
Whistle and wave.
Yeah, but Yeah, but how can we just think their French is just fine? Wasn't there a point made of Randall's harsh English, in the last thing? The French are very, very aware of a foreigner speaking their tongue, so that doesn't make sense. I agree. That's kind of like, wouldn't they notice that? The aristocracy would notice unrefined French from another country.
Right.
Well, that's why. How do they think they're going to pass off this group as les disciples when Claire specifically said they spoke French like aristocrats?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And the comp would know all of the members.
Exactly.
Yeah. If he was one.
If they truly believed he was responsible for that.
Yeah, that's where I'm wondering what their disconnect is here. Is there some other thing where they just maybe wanted to make them a copycat group? I don't know. How many bands of marauders were running through the French countryside, waylaying?
It would have been dangerous. It was dangerous because they were high. I'm sure there were highwaymen.
Sure.
Constantly waiting in wait for.
That's true.
Yes, which is why you travel like they did, like Jamie and the comp did. They were armed and watching out, but it still happened. So it'll be interesting to see if they tie that up. But that is a weird little glitch.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a plot hole.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Like, oh, we forgot. We thought the comp was part of Les Disciples.
Yeah.
But I guess he really isn't. That's.
But yeah, if that was their whole plan to be able to hijack this wine.
Yeah.
Again, it's
they shouldn't have linked it to Les Disciples then. They should have just said, make them highwaymen.
Yeah, but we wouldn't have got the funny scene of Murtaugh being dressed in refined clothing and him holding up his wrists and seeing the floppy lace and.
Do you ever think that
if I'm caught, please shoot me because I don't want to go to prison dressed like this.
I don't want to die like this.
Hanged dressed like this.
Do you ever think that sometimes some things are in the writer's room going, well, maybe nobody will notice?
Yeah. Because they underestimate their audience.
Yeah, especially this audience.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like anybody with the audience, like, with The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings trilogy. We sat in the movie theater and picked apart every single thing that was wrong with it. It's because that's something that you have absorbed and you live it. So anybody that's really into books, even with the Harry Potter books, well, this is different.
Oh, there were a couple of those Harry Potter movies that I was just kind of like.
Ugh. I know.
Yeah, my best friend is a Lord of the Rings book fan from back in high school. So that's how long she's read them. And I've only ever read The Hobbit years and years ago. And boy, I heard her rants on the Two Towers for a year.
Oh, geez.
What they did here. Oh, it's like, oh my God, I liked the movie.
And the last movie, my boys, let me tell you. Yeah. My son, did he rag on that last movie? Holy jeez. And I did too. So it's
funny.
Anywhere where you have a fan base,
a dedicated, passionate fan base.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. And they absorb it.
So it's not necessarily a bad thing to have that passion.
That's why it's nice. That's why it's nice this year, Game of Thrones, because we don't have a book to compare it to.
That's right. They're past the books now, aren't they?
Yeah, we're past the books now. So anything that we've got now, it's like, okay, is this how George Martin is going to take the book, or is this just for the TV series and the book is going to be totally different?
Well, hasn't he clued them in on main stuff? Or does he not know?
Things. Yeah. Oh, yeah, he does. He does. But still, you never know when he finally has it written and it's completed if it's going to end up like this.
I think even Diana's done that here, where she's kind of clued them in, and this is where it's going to wrap up. So, because she said that too. Well, if you want to do this, you got to remember this is how it's going to wrap up. In case you didn't want to know.
Well, they're going to have to die sooner or later.
Yeah, but I mean,
that's why her last 3 books cover about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But
so
still,
20 years and then 3 weeks.
Yeah.
has stuff that's written in the books now that eventually show up in the end, I'm sure, because she knows how she's going to end it. So,
Yeah.
you know, she's been doing that to these guys for the most part, too.
Well, she better hurry her
Anyway,
ass up.
let's finish up
Anyway.
the episode.
Anyway, we're back to...
Yeah, because I'm sure Corey's going to have to get to bed soon.
Yeah, me too.
So we end up, Claire, we get that whole scene where they take the wine and Jamie gets knocked out, and
Right.
then we end up with, we end up seeing Claire, because she's walked out of the Real Housewives bitch party,
Right. Went to
and
the
gone to the hospital. So we see her working with Mother Hildegard, and Mother Hildegard saying, you need to go to bed, and then seeing the blood and taking a little peek saying, oh, you're fine.
Yeah, I was like, really? she has underwear on, assuming. You can tell what's going on.
Still, you just look and see, well, there's no big, huge blood pouring everywhere, so I'm sure you're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just...
I can't do OB stuff in movies and TV. I can't. I have to close my eyes and say, tell me when it's over.
Yeah. There'll probably be more of that next week, the next episode.
Yeah, I mean, it was the whole version thing with Jenny after her water had broken. They were laying there talking calmly. It's like,
yeah, no.
no. So, anyway, then we end up with another great scene the next morning and it is the next morning, because Jamie's getting breakfast.
Yes.
And Fergus comes in, and, when he asks him, are you hungry? And Fergus's, response, always. So we get a nice little Jamie and Fergus moment here, and this is where we end up with Suzette. Was it Suzette who came running in?
Yeah. The
Saying, the prince is refusing. He's drunk at the whorehouse and refusing to pay his bill. They're going to call the gendarmes on him.
Yeah.
Like, all right, fine. And he hasn't
Let
paid
him.
his bill the entire time he's been there.
Yeah.
Which they actually cut out, because that was a scene in the second or third episode after Jamie had met.
Yeah.
That episode that opened with Jamie, the big long thing where he came running in and told him to hold the coach because he's going back out. He came in, he changed, and went back out, because that was him. There was actually something cut out of that scene about him saying that it's not the prince's purse that's paying for anything, it's mine. And
see? Huh.
so...
Yep.
Yeah. Well, too bad they cut that scene then, because,
But...
that informs something.
Yeah, no, the prince never paid for any of this stuff. It was always Jamie having to...
Right. It was all yeah.
So the whole fact that it was going to be this huge scandal, they were never going to call the gendarmes. They were calling Jamie. Come pay this douchebag's bill.
Somebody would pay it,
He owes us this much money, and you've been good for it up till now. You didn't, pay up.
Yeah, come pay for it.
But we had to get Fergus there.
Right.
We had to get Fergus going in, and they did mention that he went in, he was nicking that bottle of lavender for Claire.
Yeah.
As perfume for Claire.
But it doesn't show it that way in the show. You just figure he's in there picking somebody's pocket.
He's klepto, and he's going and, it's just like that, because the first scene we see him in, he's stealing handkerchiefs.
Right.
What does a 10-year-old boy need with lace-edge handkerchiefs?
Yeah.
Well, I really don't want to know.
You might know.
Yeah, I don't want to know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was our introduction to him, is that, whenever he gets the chance and he sees something out there, he's going to pick it up. So, yeah, it wasn't an obvious...
Yeah, that he was actually doing it for Claire. Or
Yeah,
for,
just him seeing, an open room with trinkets laying out. And he's like, oh, there's nobody here. They won't miss these.
Yeah. Probably did it all the time, so, yeah.
So, and, then we just see, I was actually glad we didn't see Blackjack. We just saw the coat.
That was nice the way they did that. Yeah, I like that with just the coat hanging there, because you got to figure, hey, this is who it is.
Yep.
Yeah, because we've only seen one English officer, dressed in a coat. And as somebody mentioned somewhere that I read, that at this time in the British Army, the officers had their own uniforms made.
Right.
They weren't supplied with uniforms. They got to go choose, the color, the cut, the style.
Yeah.
Nobody looked the same. because everybody got to, if they had a good tailor or if they could afford it, you know.
True.
And most of my officers had bought their commission, so they did have money to.
It was probably a basic look as far as the cuffs and everything, but some of the embellishments, yeah, some of the ways the buttons are done, they're all different.
So, anyway, and I was glad we didn't see what was going on, but I don't know that we won't see it in flashback.
Next week we'll tell. Hopefully it'll just be something described.
Yeah, cause I swear I saw a scene in one of the trailers of Jamie bursting in and attacking Blackjack.
Oh,
it wasn't in the preview. It was in the video that's like about the return of Blackjack, and it's at the end of it. Jamie rushes. It's almost like we're not going to see Fergus. We're going to see Jack kind of up close, and then Jamie's going to come in and kind of rip him off. And they start fighting.
Yeah, because I swear I saw him coming through a door and attacking him, and I couldn't remember where I had seen it.
Yeah.
That's all we need to see.
They can't. I don't know if legally what they could even show anyway, since he's underage. But I mean, people will go over this if they show anything.
Yeah.
I really hope that they don't go for it just to get people talking, because I just.
Well, we've already been there. We've been there, done that. We don't need it again.
And we don't need it to be about rape again. So yeah, I really hope they just keep it.
I don't think they will.
Yeah, I think it'll be graphic. Yeah.
Well, they can. I mean, they could do it in just little subtle. We don't have to actually see what Jack is doing. We can just see it in the results on Fergus.
Right. That's probably what they'll do.
We can just see if he's, if he's been, beaten, if he's won, whatever they're going to do, they can show it in just little flashes, or we can just hear him cry out and Jamie come through the door.
Right.
And we can see it in Jamie's face. We don't have to see what's going on. We could see it in Jamie's face.
Right.
In his reaction. So I don't know, but yeah, I think we're going to get that scene somehow, whether it's in him telling, whether it's in. Well, in the book, it was Fergus telling Claire.
Right.
Much later, yeah.
Yeah, because she'd gone up to Fontainebleau for 3 months.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That may still
have that
happen.
kind of time.
He was branded in the book. That's how she.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
So they may just.
Well, and maybe that's when, if that's what they do, it's Blackjack branding Fergus, and that's when he cries out, and that's when Jamie comes through, and he sees him standing there with that's basically his seal.
Yeah.
Because people kept calling it a brandy, whatever, but it's
it was his seal. He just got the seal.
Correspondence with.
Yeah.
Weren't they saying it was a signet ring?
Well, in the book, it was a signet ring.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes that was the same thing,
Yeah, well, they didn't ever have Jack wearing a ring in the show, so they ended up with the whatever they call those things that was his seal.
Yeah, it's its own little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a seal.
So yeah, I can see them doing that and just showing that, you know, because that's a huge trigger for Jamie.
Yeah, that's all they need to do. They don't even have to go any farther than that.
Yeah, really. We know what happened. We can tell.
Right.
Yeah, anybody that's read the book knows what happened.
I think even
that hasn't read the book. Yeah.
I think
and we could get some of it from Fergus's words. He doesn't have to. We don't have to see it if he's telling her.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see.
Next week.
Have you noticed we haven't gotten any clips, or do they usually come later in the week? I feel like we usually are watching clips by now.
Don't they usually start popping up around Wednesday?
Yeah,
Wednesday. I keep getting confused with the datas.
Well, because what we get a lot of times is I'll post when Soho, which is the Australian.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get better clips.
They do.
Yeah, they get better trailers for the next week.
Yeah, they do.
Darn it.
Post that, so it'll feel like we've gotten clips because we'll have gotten something that's different from our trailer.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but yeah, I haven't seen. But then I also took myself out of the Hooligans group because I couldn't stand it anymore.
No, I know.
That's where I didn't really participate in it, but I would see, when they would post the clips and the interviews and pictures and stuff like that, but I just couldn't stand all of the angsty, naysaying idiocy that was going on. And it's just like, I can't do it anymore, guys. I'm moving on. I mean, I still follow Outlander online because they do get the interviews and stuff, but you have to go to their website to see it, which is a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
And I'm also in the Oklahoma group and the Kansas City group, so.
Oh, okay.
Which are much better. I mean,
the time for all that.
Well, I'm not in them. I follow them. I've liked them, and I'm a member on Facebook, and I just see them in my feed. And basically, just so that I see the pictures and interviews and clips as they come by.
Stuff pops up, yeah.
Rather than have to go out and hunt them down.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not sure I've posted in either one of those since I initially joined, which was, a year and a half ago. So, we did get a little bit. We didn't get the hair cutting scene, which I, kind of wish we'd gotten that, but we didn't get the whole conversation about we didn't get the conversation about his first duel, Jamie's first duel.
Right. So they never really said that.
But we did not get the conversation between Claire and Jamie, because that's when Jamie said something about us having his hair in his face and.
Right. They never set it up to be done.
They couldn't, because he couldn't cut his hair.
No, they're not going to cut his hair.
Yeah, but they put a wig on him. That's
Poor
easy.
Sam.
Yeah.
It's easy. They wigs and extensions, man. They do it all the time for everybody. Yeah. So they could have done.
They're not always consistent.
So, but anyway, we end up with getting Claire coming back to the house, and we know it's afternoon because.
Yeah, she does say good afternoon or something.
Yes. So we know we've had enough time pass from the morning because they were eating breakfast, and it was morning when Jamie and Fergus left, and so it's afternoon when Claire comes back.
Yeah.
So there's been enough time passed for Jamie to be there, to have left his brace, to have left the note for Claire.
Right, and then gone back out, yeah.
And to have gone back out. But yeah, and we get that whole frantic, the only voiceover we get in this thing is her talking about,
why did he break his promise to me or something?
Well, that's not voiceover. That's actually her verbalizing. The voiceover is when she gets there and says she had come to try and stop it, but she couldn't, so all she could do was wait to see which of her men was going to die.
Right.
That was from the book, too, I think.
Right? I think something like that, yeah.
Yeah, something similar to it.
So, I know I said it on the Facebook. I love the slide across the cobbles, just like we were watching some...
Yes.
Fast and Furious.
French Connection or something.
Did you read that Kate was actually in the cart when they did that, and she was terrified?
I saw that. I think Matt Roberts, one of the two, posted that on Twitter.
What did he say?
Kate was actually in that carriage.
Oh, when they did that.
When they did that.
Yeah.
Because it seems like the footman on the back is just sitting there like it happens every day. He wasn't steering like the back of a fire truck. I thought it was really clever, and I wonder if they filmed it that way and said, "Let's just throw this in here for ourselves." It was great.
Yeah.
He said it was terrifying.
But we got that. I mean, I thought the duel was really well done. It's definitely two men who hate each other.
Yeah.
Right.
It was good.
It didn't feel like this wonderfully choreographed, elegant duel. Two men who were trying to kill each other.
Yeah, it was full of anger. It wasn't finesse, and that's I loved watching the little blurb afterwards that showed, the Sam and Tobias, working on it, and actually that they did the majority of the fighting themselves in it. I thought that was great. I really did.
Yeah,
and fantastic.
I guess I'm heartless because there were so many people who said that they were in tears by the end of this scene.
Really?
Yeah.
I wasn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
I wasn't. I was just on the seat of, the edge of my seat. I wasn't crying.
And these are people who've read the book.
Because Claire's, what's happening to Claire, I guess.
Well, she did play quite the despair, which I thought was good. That she never lost her connection visually with Jamie, even while she was passing out, on the ground. And I don't recall that I felt that from the book. So from that perspective, maybe I could see where it was pretty. It was well done.
Yeah, when
It was very well done because I see in the book she could hear him, but yeah, she had lost sight of him.
I think she couldn't speak, like she was trying to, but it couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was too weak.
Yeah, because that's the last time you can see him yell Claire, but you don't hear it because she can't hear it.
Exactly.
She's passed out, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I actually thought it was really well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. I love that part.
So.
Yeah, it was good.
That was, and like I said, the episode, there are some wonderful things in the episode, but it felt uneven to me, uneven and all over the place. It's still, I like it as far as it's not something I love. I loved last week's episode.
Yeah, last week's episode was wonderful.
I loved it from beginning to end and everything in between, and I just felt like that was one continuous ride that just kind of continued to build tension and build tension and build tension until we ended up with Blackjack, and it was like, oh. So this one, like I said, this one felt, here's a scene here, and here's a scene here, and now we're going to Le Havre, and now we're back, and we got to go to Le Havre again, and now we got to come back, and now we're at Madame Elise, and then we're back here, and now we're got to go back to Madame Elise, and now we're back here, and then we're at the hospital, and then we're back, and then we're at the hospital, and then we're back. Then we're at the Louise's, and then we're at the hospital. And then we're in the water balloon.
Yeah.
And that's what it felt like. I was exhausted.
Yeah.
Because it was like, oh my God. Did anybody ever get a decent night's sleep?
Well, the fact that it's so chaotic is a good mirror to the fact that their plans are falling apart. So, I don't know. I guess you could look at it like that. All this is going on, and their plans are just falling apart no matter what they do. So.
Yeah. Well, and if you want to think about it, you can think about the fact that this entire first part of the season is showing us the futility of trying to change the future, that the future is set.
Right, and that would be frustrating because you're trying to do something and it's very frustrating. So we're getting delivered their frustration in the way of their writing so chaotically.
Yeah, but like I said, I think the payoff for this first half of the season is going to be that
you have to see it
the future is set.
Right.
And
you're not going to change the big stuff.
Yeah, no matter what you do, or the future is set. Claire has always come back and done this.
Right. So
that if she hadn't come back, then the future would have been changed. But she has always come back. She's always interfered with Mary marrying that Vicomte, which then left her open to Alex, and which then left her open to Blackjack.
Yeah.
Because if Claire hadn't been there, Mary would never have been at the hospital. She would never have been in that alleyway. She would have never been attacked. Her engagement would never have been called off.
Very true.
So Claire has always gone back and has always been an integral part of the Randall legacy.
Right.
Yep.
That's
the whole philosophical point of these books anyway, is that and when you start looking at the time travel, what does it mean? What was it for? Was it like you said, you always went there? The people that travel through the time, they always went there. They always did what they did. One continuous loop.
Yep. So that's where I come down. That's the side I come down on. That she's always gone back.
Right.
And that even if Blackjack had been killed, there would have been fate and time would have found another way to get the ancestor lineage to go like it's supposed to.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
So.
Well, that's kind of what they're coming up on now because they're getting thwarted, so, like we just said. Yeah.
So, yeah. And the Best Laid Schemes is basically, I mean, that whole philosophy is the fact that Best Laid Schemes of mice and men always go awry.
Yeah, so that's true, and that's exactly what it is.
It's the whole thing that man plans, God laughs.
Right.
So, and that's where we are. Next week is Faith, written by Tony Graffia. And I can't believe that Tony Graffia would have jumped the shark
I know.
that much, although she's not a book reader.
Right. I mean, they read it for.
She is now, but she was not a book fan before became part of the writing group.
Is it this next episode where it's supposed to jump the shark, or is it just sometime in this season?
I didn't read the thing on CompuServe, but somebody said that it was mentioned that it was in the first 7 episodes.
Yeah, because the way Diana had said her comment was, I've seen the first 6.5 episodes, and this was back in January, so it was before anything had aired. And she said there's this jump the shark moment, and then she talked about how she complained about it, but they said they're keeping it, but they dialed it back so it wasn't as extreme. So they knew that but based on her saying that it happened. She said this week, no, it wasn't anything in this past episode, because people said, oh, was it that dream sequence that they were going to cut? And she said, no, it hasn't aired yet, and it was not cut. It will be in the episode.
Well, and if she said 6.5 episodes, then it's in the first half of the next episode, which means it has something to do with Claire and how she reacts to losing the baby.
Maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, wasn't she? I saw that same thing, and it's something about when you come down to episode 7, it hadn't been completed, so it could have been any part of it. She says they keep adding stuff, so it's not like it's being filmed in sequence. It's something within that whole entire episode.
Correct. It could be anywhere. Technically, it could be anywhere in the episode.
Yeah, because they don't film in order, so.
No.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Again, I hope it's just all a bunch of hoo-ha for nothing.
Well, like I said, they have to compress the timeline a lot, because from the looks of it, like I said, she's not going to, and spoilery stuff for the book, like we haven't been doing it the whole damn thing.
Whole episode.
The whole damn discussion.
Yeah.
But in the book, there was like a 3-month timeline where
they
she
have to do the thing on the bottom, where they say 2 months later or something, because.
Well, but any of the stuff they've shown us, we basically see her with Mother Hildegard. I could see them cutting out the Louise part, because we had lots of Louise in the first part of the season. Yeah. I could see them wanting to take that whole recovery and support part and take it from Louise and giving it to Mother Hildegard.
Right.
Have her more in the show.
Yeah.
So we'll keep Claire at the hospital.
She could stay there for a month or more. I mean.
Yeah, and Mother Hildegard being her confessor and her shoulder that she's leaning on, trying to recover.
Right. Right.
Which we've already seen. I mean, in the previews, we've already seen her talking to her about, he cared more for his revenge than he did for me and my baby, and she's telling Mother Hildegard that.
Right.
Yep.
So.
Right.
Which that's from the book.
Yep.
I just can't remember.
Yeah.
If she said it to someone or if we just got it in her, because we're in her POV.
Right. I don't remember.
So.
And it is Mother Hildegard in a roundabout way that gets her hooked back up with the king. So through the choir master, I think, right?
Yeah, which we didn't get the choir master at all.
Yeah, so
Mother Hildegard.
If there's going to be somebody else that's going to come back into that circle, or that might be Louise. You never know. So.
Well, no, it could be Mother Hildegard. It could be her saying you have to go
talk to the king. Yeah.
The king, and it could be Annalise.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Not in any more episodes.
Oh, she's not?
Well, according to Diana, anyway.
We're done with Annalise. Okay.
What about Duvernay?
Could be Duvernay.
Or Duvernay, yeah. Could be Duvernay, since he kind of took some other stuff out, yeah. Oh, well, we'll see next week. We'll see on Friday.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, I think, what did I say? Is next week, I think I'm on call on Monday.
Yeah,
I think you said next week is going to be Tuesday.
Tuesday, just because if I get called in, I don't want to have to cancel at the last minute.
Yeah.
Right.
So, because I could get called in the middle of the thing if we tried it. So.
Yeah.
But hopefully from here on out, I've asked her to please not put me on call on Mondays. I'm supposed to be off Monday through Thursday. I work every weekend. So.
Okay.
We shall see.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in and discussing. I'd love doing this. This is so much fun.
It is.
Since we can't do, a coffee clatch where everybody gets together, we actually sit down and are with each other.
I know.
Yeah.
We should make cocktails mandatory.
They're optional. You can still have one.
You guys guys got to work. Some of you guys got to work the next day.
Exactly.
You need to have one of those
I could drink
bourbon
beer,
things you had in DC.
Oh, that Sexy Sadie. Oh my God, that was
Yeah.
good. Whereas your sidecar was really good. Those two drinks were really good.
Yeah, they were
The
really
ones
good.
the night before were just really strong.
Yeah, they were trying to get us drunk the night before.
Oh,
And
yes, they were.
the other one that was really good drinks.
Yeah, they were ones that went down really easy.
Yeah.
Because my drink was bourbon based, and it was very easy to drink. And yours was yours vodka based?
Chamomile vodka. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
And
really
it was
good.
super yummy. It tasted like a sweet, lemonade type drink.
Yeah, it was good.
I probably could have drunk yours all night. I could have drunk mine all night.
Yeah.
Mine
Not saying what condition you've been in if you'd
Yeah.
done it all night, but
We'd have walked it off by the time we got back to the hotel. We might have.
we may
I might have gotten
zigzagged.
through the hotel going through Chinatown.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. We may have zigzagged a little bit and gotten turned around a little bit, but yeah, we
We were
would
through
have made it back.
Chinatown to get down to the White House and over.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, that was good, man. So anyway, all right, ladies, I am gonna
All right.
go.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
and I enjoyed it. See you
Yeah.
next week.
Yeah,
Okay.
fun,
And
fun.
Angie, I'll see you Friday night.
Yep,
All right.
will do.
Yeah.
Anybody
Bye.
else can join us. Anybody else is going to watch it.
Yep.
At this first streaming time, we'll be watching and just kind of texting.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
All right. See you later.
Alrighty, bye guys.
Bye. Bye.